Hello, welcome to 2021 summer football. We know it's been a weird year and a half or so, but excited to have everybody back on the field. As many of you know, we're spread kind of thin this year, so I definitely appreciate everybody that is working and everybody stay safe while you're out there because we definitely need every one of you. Couple of quick things. First couple of weeks, we've had a few issues with some of the sideline behavior and some of the teams. I do want to let you know that this has been brought up to the league. They are aware. The commissioner has handed out some things as well as all the ownership. So we're looking at some accountability going forward. I do apologize for some of the things that has occurred. A couple of you have had some rough games. Those of you that have worked these long enough know it happens from time to time, but we're working on trying to keep that few and far between. So, um, thanks again, guys and gals working. With that being said, we've lost some of we had some of the film issues this week, so kind of limited on the plays, but I do have a handful here. So, at about 9 or 10 plays, we're going to go over. Shouldn't take more than about 10 or 12 minutes. Only a couple games tomorrow, so this should give you a couple things to look at. As always, this is never meant to demean or belittle anybody. It's only for educational purposes only. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with play number one. Here we've got, it's from the very first week. We've got looks like a hold. We've got a couple guys starting to tango here. And it's what happens after the play is over that we got to see. You see the body slam there. Remember, takedowns are something that it's not a takedown where he's holding him and he falls to the ground. That's a body slam. So we want to try to get that. If nothing else, at least talk to him. Sometimes it happens right as it's going down, you catch the tail end of it. If you don't see the whole thing, I get it. But this is early in the game. It's first kickoff, so here's a chance to set the tone, let them know that you saw it. And on to play number two. Here we have an illegal block below the waist on a kickoff. Now remember, blocking below the waist is illegal on all kicks. Scrimmage kicks, kickoffs, free kicks, field goals, extra points. Also on all turnovers, fumbles, interceptions. And you don't get to see the whole action of the player from the side, but you will see the block. Right there, he goes low, right up the middle. You might want to talk as a crew who's gonna see this. You got line of scrimmage officials coming up from the goal line, blocks at about the 26-yard line, right in the middle. So probably the best position is going to be the referee. And of course, Dave Trimble gets it. Great call, right on the money with the flag too. But excellent call. These are things we got to get. It's definitely a safety issue. So very nice call, David. All right, the next one is kind of a unsportsmanlike. This could be a non-football act. If nothing else, we definitely want to talk to this guy here. After the play, there's a little bit of extra blocking. The guy goes down on him right here. Now, that is one thing we could just kind of use our voice and be there. But from there, as he gets up, he puts all of his weight and pushes off of the guy on the bottom rather than pushing off the ground. In instances like this, I usually will just tell him, hey, push off the ground, not each other. Push off the ground, not him. It's up to you if he thinks it's enough warranted a flag. I'm certainly not saying that this would be a flag here, but it can lead to other things. So hopefully we use our voice and tell them to at least knock this off. Notice again, he puts all his weight on him as he pushes up, and he's kind of a big boy. So there's just no reason for it. This teammate gets a little defensive, and rightfully so. So just tell him, hey, you know what? It looks like the referee's in there doing a good job already separating them. So Just be aware of that. Players push off the ground, not off the teammates or the opponents. All right, play four. This here is a borderline late hit. If he hits him in the head, this could be a targeting for a. It could be a targeting. I can't quite tell on this hit, but he's down right there. This guy's a couple steps. He sees he's down, and he still decides to hit him. Now, of course, what's going to happen? His teammate's going to come in and retaliate. So now, technically, we could have a couple of flags. Well, you see the player for offense is kind of upset, and or defense, he gets up and runs over after he's pushed. One of his teammates goes over. And now he's going to defend him. Before you know it, everybody's defending everybody. We have both benches empty. So let's try to, again, use our voice. But one of the things here also, take note, we want to stay with this. Don't worry about the ball. Don't worry about any of the other stuff until these players separate, until black is on one side, white's on the other, and you have no teams mixed up here. Last thing we're worried about is chains, a ball, anything else. Okay, so Cecil's running in there to hustle in, so it's line of scrimmage on the far side. Good job. Okay, play five is a blindside block on an interception. Now, anytime we have a turnover, interception, a punt, a kickoff, anytime where the direction of the play is shifting or switching, look for somebody going upstream or going opposite all of the direction of the other players. Usually head hunting, looking for somebody to blindside. Those are going to be your indicators. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you see right here as the ball's intercepted, this guy's already starting to eyeball somebody. He's looking downfield. Who could I hit? And of course, you see the guy upright at about the 20 or so, 15, 20. It's going to be the one he's going for. And it doesn't look like much. If he hits him in the head, it's hard to tell again from this angle. The player acts like he does. So it's even more concerning here, and this is something you definitely want to talk to players about, but the hit here, you see that everybody get excited, start running over, and coaches, players, the blindside block was outlawed a couple of years ago. It's not legal unless it's open-handed and the person being blocked sees it coming. This is not open-handed. It's with the shoulder, and it's blindside. He never sees it coming. So that would be a foul, and the crew did get it. So it's an excellent call. Again, but he's going completely opposite the direction of the play. Okay, on play 6 coming up here. We have a potential defensive offside. Actually, I'm pretty sure it is an offside from what it looks like, but I want to touch on how he lines up first. He's borderline offside. It's hard to tell. The camera isn't quite on the same yard line, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But remember, the further from the ball, we're going to give him a little bit more leeway. If he's a nose tackle, he's not getting any leeway. But regardless, when they're crowding the line that closely, he gets zero movement. In other words, if he's moving when the ball's snapped, he's offside. If he's moving forward at all, it's not like he's a yard back and it hasn't broken the plane yet. He is pushing it right there. So any movement at all, he's offside. And you can see it looks like he's off here. Okay, now we have another blindside block coming downfield. Similar situation. You got offense heading one way, and you have a downfield blocker, a receiver, going completely opposite because he knows the defense will be chasing the ball carrier. Spots him. The person does not see the block coming again. Now, that doesn't look like much. It's not like one of those ones where he lights him up and decleats him and knocks him to the sideline. The guy actually gets stopped and then continues around and to pursue. So, I'm not. This is one that by definition could be a foul. For safety purposes, it would be supported because it is blindside and the potential for a definite injury is there. If you, for whatever reason, decided not to call it, I would think you should note it in your game report why you didn't call it. Definitely talk to the guy and tell him, hey, it's not allowed. And the only reason why would be the fact that the guy got through it, but um, he definitely doesn't see it coming. In fact, the guy throwing the block is the one that actually goes down. It's kind of awkward. But again, these are the ones that want to get your antennas up and make you aware when you start seeing guys going opposite the flow of the play. The potential for blindside blocks or dangerous fouls are definitely there. All right, this next play, I'm not sure what happened. It just cuts to you see both teams out on the field. There's more than just 11 players. You see players heading out there without a helmet. Um, it's hard to tell if he's out there getting excited or if he's trying to pull players back. Then you see over on the left side of the screen a player that's clearly upset. His own player is having to walk him back. And we've got officials telling guys to get to each sideline. On the far side, you see players telling their players to come back. We've got coaches out on the field. Just a mess. And anybody watching the game thinks, what in the world am I watching? So, not sure what happened, but coaches, players, just know that if you leave that bench, if there's a scuffle or anything, potential fight, physical play, penalty, any of that, you leave the bench to go running out on the field, there's a very strong chance you could be ejected. Okay, by rule, you should be ejected. Coaches shouldn't be heading out there either. Now, if a coach goes out and grabs their player and doesn't say anything to officials and clearly goes out and is grabbing their players, I think all of us as officials are okay with that. We'd probably thank them for getting their player out of there. But coaches, you don't get to go out and let the officials have it. And it doesn't look like anybody did that here. I don't see any coaches talking to the officials, but just players know that if you go out there in that situation, officials could just start writing numbers down. You don't get a second one in this. You leave the bench, it's an ejection. So stay on your sideline. Let the officials on the field handle it. If you're on the far side of the field and one side has left the bench, hold your sideline there. Don't let them leave. Kind of facilitate and try to prevent things from escalating. Okay, two more plays. This next play here, you see at the end of this one quickly, the coach is up. He's pretty upset. He's yelling down at the bottom. He's yelling at that player, so he's letting him have it. But again, it's still kind of ugly there. So enough about that one. Next to last play. This is a punt play with a horse collar tackle. It's a tough one. I'm not sure that the back judge would have the angle to see it. But he definitely, as he comes around, pulls him down by the back of the collar, rips him back, and he gets him off his feet. The potential for the foul is still there. So these are ones we want to try to get. And actually, in looking at it again, it may be down more the middle of the jersey. But that's still okay. Anywhere in the middle of the back, the nameplate, if the jersey is stretched and they pull them backwards, that immediate yank back action, I'd be okay with the horse collar tackle on that. So I'd like to see a better angle as well. But for the name of safety, I'd be okay with that call. Last one. This is actually two plays in one, and it's just a couple of touchdowns with guys celebrating. Just flips over the goal line. I just want to remind everybody the celebration is allowed in the CFC as long as they're not doing anything to demean the opponents or taunt anything towards them, nothing vulgar towards the crowd or towards their opponents. They could spike the ball. They could do a quick dance. They could flip over the goal line. They could dunk it over the upright. All those things. Just keep in mind, normal rules apply. So once they score, that 40-second play clock starts. So they throw the ball and they're dancing, and it's 30 seconds before we actually get a ball down. We're not going to pump it back up. They got 10 seconds to get that play off. If they want to celebrate and mess around, that's on them. So now don't split hairs. Don't be in a hurry. Give them a second to celebrate before we start that 40-second clock. But just a friendly reminder that celebration is allowed. These guys, it's a big thing to them, so don't take it away from them. Cecil does a nice job staying here, getting with them. Now, keep in mind, it's tough here, and obviously no one would know, but make sure they cross the goal line. And if he doesn't, judge if the ball's out or if he's down. And last one here. Now he's real close to the sideline here. This is going to be the deep wings call right there. He's close enough. He's at the goal, and he has a clear angle to see if he steps out. I would hope that the line of scrimmage guy as well has it. They both have it, but the deep wing has a clear angle. He's ahead of everybody. He's waiting, so if he steps out, I would hope that he's going to see it. And if so, he doesn't have to come up. He can wait for the line of scrimmage guy. Unless he sees that he's not coming, then he can move up and get it. Looks like he takes off from about the 2, gets in. The only thing I would advise there at the end is good mechanics, good positioning. Maybe be a little bit further off the pylon. You don't have to be within a couple yards. You could be 3-4 yards off that pylon. Just in case it gets blown up, you're far enough back. And then as he does score, you don't have to step up and signal. You can simply just turn your belt buckle and follow the action. Just nice and loose and hold. But you're in good position. That's just a little thing. Just turn and follow the action. But good overall mechanics and positioning there. And that does it for the first video. Again, apologize, I don't have more plays, but a couple of the other games were, there were some issues in uploading them and didn't get individual clips. So hopefully have 5 or 6 more plays next week, and maybe some additional, maybe some targeting or some other things to look at. So last thing, coaches, substitution rule. Offense, when you substitute, defense is allowed to match up. They have 3 seconds to start that substitution matchup. If they do not, then referee will clear and you guys can go. If defense matches up and then you decide to substitute again on offense, that opens up a brand new window. Okay? The other thing we run into is if you have 11 on offense and for whatever reason, the 11th runs off, thinking that he was the 12th, but he's actually the 10th. And then he runs back on the field to make it 11. We will hold that up for a substitution because it can be deceptive to the defense. So if you have questions on that, definitely feel free to give me a call. We can discuss it more. Hopefully that clarifies it. Thank you, everybody working this weekend. Have a great game. And those that aren't, everybody, have a good, safe, happy Memorial Day weekend.